everybody. Welcome back to the Urban Hermit Podcast. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Mark Nussle. Jordan, are you giving your mic a hand job right now? What's going on over there?
No, I'm going to have to cut out so much fumbly noise.
Western grip. Jordan Jones.
With the Western grip. Good to be back. Just got back from vacation. It's cold again in Chicago. Bummer. But in that time...
You could have brought the warm weather back with you.
Well, it was interesting. I left, it was 80 degrees, entered 90-degree weather, and then the next day there was snow on the ground, I heard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And immediately that's...
Call me crazy, but low pressure, high pressure system, that makes tornadoes, does it not? No.
It did. There was tornado warnings.
Do you never watch the news? There's tornado alley became
I was in
entire United States gets tornadoes. Yeah,
I was in the central of Mexico. I didn't care about the weather back home at that point.
I wasn't. Vacation, you're not checking weather back home. You don't give a fuck what's going on back home.
I'm not checking
Never
shit.
do.
My phone was...
You're on vacation mode. There's a daiquiri in your hand.
This vacation is hands down the most I've ever slept, not just on a vacation, but possibly in my life. Day one, okay, well, first off, we did catch like a red eye. So like I worked a day, stayed up the entire night, and then we went on a flight where I stayed up the entire night. So I was essentially up like a whole day.
Ooh, red eye flights. Ugh.
Yep.
Red eye just means you like arrive in the morning, right? Like,
You like travel overnight.
It's a groggy flight.
And as you can imagine, I can't sleep on flights. I'm just too tall.
I can't either.
I'm just too lanky. My neck just flops to a side. And even like neck pillows don't work great for me.
Do you notice change the game for me? I'm not a great sleeper on flights. Eye mask. You gotta have an eye mask.
I would just say...
I've gotta have an eye mask. And it kind of changed the game.
No. I would agree with you. And I would go as far to say, Jordan, do you use an eye mask in regular day? Because you should. It just blocks all light.
Yep. I sleep with an eye mask every day. I also like the pressure of it.
Apple should make their own eye mask, just call it eye mask, and it's just a screen in there. I don't know.
Here's what sucks though: you get it, and you're like, man, this eye mask this isn't even charging anymore. I gotta get a fucking new one every 2 years.
It's a new charger too.
Well, here's maybe the other problem, because funny enough, I did get something like that for Nicole. It's an eye mask that just has like music built in, and it's like Bluetooth. But
sensory deprivation.
Well, from what I understand,
now
she says, as you can imagine, she's like, it's a little uncomfortable on the sides because it's still like a speaker inside of this like ear muff kind of thing. So you
you just adjust it. You get it to where you got to go.
I think I'd be fine with it, but I could see the annoyance with it.
Are you guys window guys or aisle guys?
I prefer window for the lean factor. I got short legs though, so like
lean factor's huge in the windows.
And I just am like I'll. Since I mainly travel, I'm going to put myself in this scenario. It's mainly with Megan, right? Mm-hmm. So even if I have the aisle and vice versa, we can lean on each other. So I almost feel like...
You guys are both just leaning on some dude in the middle.
we like to sandwich people. We buy aisle and window. And then
there's one big pro and one
funny.
Big con for an aisle seat.
Mm-hmm. Bathroom.
Pro is obviously...
Legroom.
The bathroom.
No, con... is you're going to get run over by the drink cart.
No.
Your knee's going to get knocked. Your shoulder's going to get knocked by a couple of duffel bags.
Now, I say this all the time, but number one, I don't care. I know I've seen the window view a million times from a flight, but I still like looking out. It's still fun seeing new landscapes. In fact, flying over Mexico City was I said this to my wife, I think this is the craziest thing I've ever seen from the air. Because Mexico City
it's a huge city, though. I think it's like one of the biggest in the world. Yeah,
it's like the biggest city in the world. So, like, from air, it's when you're flying into Chicago and you're like, oh, there's the outline city shape of like Chicago. You can see the lights,
get the skyline,
right? Well, especially on the lake there.
Yeah,
that's what I like about.
It's the only time I've risen into the air, and literally, it was just an entire city, all horizon in all directions from both windows was city. It was insane.
Christ. That's crazy. Yeah. New York City's pretty cool. I guess Jesus Cristo.
And here's Skyline City is just great, but there's
what I like about Chicago though is you get to dip into the lake and then come back kind of, or on some of the flights. Here's a
sorry, hold on. Biggest city in the world, Chongqing.
But to the seat question though. So I do always like a window thing, but as a tall person, my legs do not fit in those chairs, and especially like on my flight back when the mother of 3 children decided to lean back, and I had to
Tokyo. I was wrong.
Were you wrong? And I did.
Yep, wrong. Way wrong.
Well, going back.
Tokyo's also a city. Right?
So are you?
That's in Japan if we're playing along at home.
Cameron, you're reclining your seat.
No, I never do out of respect. Here's what I do.
That's
Here's
good.
what I do.
It's the Midwestern in
the
you.
neck part. You guys know how a lot of them have the extenders that you can then wrap around your head so it like cups you?
Oh, it's like it's.
I
a
do
neck
that
pillow.
extreme where like I'm locked in there. My head is just jammed in that thing so that if I can pass out, that's how. Because it's the only way my neck won't flop around.
You're just in a stretcher.
Yeah, kind of.
Most important thing for me, I've accepted like the logistics of how I will sit, but if I have a fan that can't hit me, if I can't turn on that jet stream, I'm like, I'm gonna go crazy. I need a little airflow.
And that's
my big.
That's the biggest problem with the aisle seat. It's less likely to hit you there. It's always like pretty much right above the middle. It's between the middle and the window seat. Usually is where that shit's at.
Cameron's head is just locked into the headrest. It's like Stephen Hawking. He's
just looking
working,
straight forward, waiting.
He's working.
And that guy's ready to save the plane.
Hey, little secret. Guess what? You have to get your like seat up to the right position. But if the stewardess sees you with your head just locked in there, she's like, "You can leave it up. You need it. You need it."
The dimensions of my body are like weird to where I have short legs, so it's not a problem. But my torso's so long, my head is well above. Like where that thing's supposed to be.
I'm 6'3". Those extend.
Yeah. But like my torso's so much longer than yours.
Jordan gets low and like he puts his knees up on the person in front of him just to get real nice and cozy.
They never hit. I maybe too late in life. Like I didn't know completely the etiquette when I was younger to not leaning back immediately. Now I don't, but I definitely did as a kid. First thing I did.
Me too, though. When you're a kid, you have to test it out. Like you're in, like, let's see how far back this shit goes. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
as a kid, you're testing everything out. You're
but
checking all the monitors. You're pressing all the buttons.
I'm calling myself a kid at like 25 still.
Are you guys rule followers? Like, your airplane mode? Like,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'm a huge rule follower. Like, I don't really like flying anyway. So if I see the guy next to me, like, still diddling on his phone, playing Snake or the Brick Breaker, I'm like,
dude, it's funny. It's funny that you bring this up.
Now we're going down.
On one of my short flights, just from Mexico, or from like Manzanillo to like Mexico City, there was a business guy who like. When we were taxiing, we were getting ready to take off. He pulled down his tray, reclined in a seat, and pulled out a wad of receipts, and then started He started taking pictures with his phone and then transferring it to his laptop computer that was open on the other tray.
You gotta itemize, Cameron.
Dude,
you gotta itemize.
He was using the middle tray. He had no one beside him. It was kind of a
double tray.
That one was a slower flight. Yeah. So computer on like an empty seat next to him in the middle. He's just documenting everything in front of him, and I was just. I was waiting for the flight attendants to come up. I was like, "Whoa!"
I'll press the button on that guy.
He's a business guy. He's never flown before. You can't do that.
I also don't want confrontation on a flight, though. I've seen a lot of these videos
not at
popping off on like
It is
Southwest
getting
Airlines,
out of
Spirit
hands.
flights. It's getting out of hand.
I think what happened was everybody got shut in for COVID, and then some people just forgot how society works. And here's what I say. We got to work our way through this. Hopefully it's not a problem that lasts forever. But if you do that, you never get to fly again. That's just the way it is. You don't.
You don't get to fly again.
You're a bus guy.
You lose your privilege.
It's gone. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. You may have your own problems.
I'll see you in 3 months when you sail across the ocean.
You're going to have to drive to Phoenix.
Get a support animal. Yeah, you're going to have to go on a steamer or whatever. That's on you.
Hey, I'm saying bring back blimps. But also on flight etiquette, this would actually end up being
anti-blimp.
I'm pro helium blimps, not hydrogen.
Hey,
got it. Depends on the gas.
On a little blimp tangent, does the Goodyear blimp show up at sporting events anymore? Are we seeing that? I feel like I haven't seen the Goodyear blimp.
As
We've
much,
talked about
yeah.
this before. I think there's just only 4 that exist.
Yeah, but are they still like?
Yeah, not as much, but yeah, they
no.
Yeah, I just did some research on this. It's pretty much just advertising and then spying with governments. That's what we use them for.
Cool. I mean, get on the government attention.
Propellers, gas-powered engines.
I think it's just like.
Is it a fan?
Yeah.
Is it like a steam pump
little propeller fan.
I think it's literally the exact same thing you see at a Bulls game when they drop T-shirts to you. I just on a larger scale.
Well, I saw one of those get stuck in the rafters.
Yeah. That's why you don't have shit that.
There were a lot of disasters with blimps.
Guys,
yeah, they're gone.
Guys, I'm getting off on tangents, but I think we have to come to an agreement as a society. We got to stop doing pyrotechnics in enclosed spaces like at sporting events.
Sure.
There's too much flames. There's too many fireworks. It's just, I mean,
we're getting out of hand. I just saw there was a Disney World one or Disneyland one. Excuse me.
Float caught on fire, right?
Fantasmic. No, it was it was during Fantasmic. Mickey and Minnie were out there, but it was a big dragon. Just caught fire. Everybody had to leave.
That'd be more terrifying to see though live.
Started to get scary.
Yeah, sure it was. Disney rarely has problems.
I feel like what's happened is the population in America has grown so much and globally that the infrastructure in everything that we do cannot keep up. And it's just all everything. We were like, oh, it's
not
just
true.
It's just bridges. It's just bridges. Nope, it's everything. It's fucking everything.
Now I-90 is going to be in construction for the next 10 years.
about to say,
so we're figuring it out. We're trying.
I was about to say, funny enough, and when
but
they
what
do
you
fix
forgot is,
and when they do fix the infrastructure, we're pissed off about it.
There's all kinds of shit that's not getting fixed. Mark, potholes are. You want to know? You want to know a big argument for toll roads? Have you ever taken 90 versus 94 to be like, I'm going to avoid the tolls? And you're like, Jesus Christ, the potholes are unreal on this portion of 90. It's dangerous. They're like, it's lawless.
No, it's getting out of hand though. Like going into Indiana, there's literally a toll that is $6.
No, it's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Fucking
But
crazy.
Mark, good news. It's next to the casino, so you're fine. You can win it all back.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's true. It is right next to the casino.
I have a question about your vacation.
Sure.
Your little trip, and this goes across the board. I myself, I know my answer, but you go on a vacation, Cameron, you went to like a resort, an extended stay, relaxation. Are you packing a book?
I packed
To
two
read.
books. I packed one that was like your typical murder mystery adult book.
Fucking nerds.
But then I packed a graphic novel. I packed Watchmen. I bought it 2 years ago and haven't read it. It's my introduction to can I enjoy a graphic novel?
The answer is no.
Well, it turns out the answer is I don't enjoy a book because I just didn't open a single one.
A graphic novel is just an adult way of saying I'm reading a coloring book.
Yeah,
a
it's
comic
pictures.
book.
Yes. But I think I could enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I'm watching a movie that's not animated. I am only reading the subtitles.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's really just a storyboard.
Is a graphic novel a choose your own adventure? Can I?
Well, no, not in general, but I think
No.
could there be? Sure. Why couldn't there be?
Sure.
I recently I just stopped packing books. I'm like, I'm not gonna read them, but I have for years.
I'm not anti-book. I'm not anti-read. The worst places.
You
to
are
read a
pro
book
burning
are-
books, though, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely for warmth.
For warmth.
In a situation of an apocalypse. Yeah. No, just kidding. But like the worst place to read a book, I think, is on the beach and on the plane.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I get motion sickness.
Oh, I
And then
don't
on the beach, it's just too sunny.
The beach.
Also, I just want to play frisbee.
Beach is the quickest way to take a
Hear
nap
me
ski,
out.
though.
Number one, we had a pool that was an entire basketball court, and it was just meant to play basketball. Number two, most of this trip was just laying around outside. So it
Yep.
actually was catered to a book time. It's just I chose to drink and have people
that's
bring
the
me
issue
alcohol.
is-
And
Jordan's going to be reading Da Vinci Code on the beach,
Sure.
and he's going to have an outline of a square
No
on his
spoiler
chest.
alerts. I am still working on Devil in the White City. I've started that book fucking 10 times.
It's a perfect
Because
book outline on his chest that he just fell asleep on.
I've started Devil in the White City so many times because every time, like 10 years in between, I'm like, oh, I gotta reread. Where was I in this? I'm never gonna finish
just
it.
hedge your bets.
But luckily,
they've been talking about making a movie for years.
They're never
They'll get
gonna make
there.
the series, so it doesn't even matter. I got time still. They've teased that more than I've tried to watch to finish reading it.
Jordan said he brought a book to the beach, and he's like, I just read the same 5 pages like 10 times in a row. He had to.
Yeah, you
did-
school
I-
read it where you're like, shit, I'm not paying attention at all.
Fuck.
Oh,
I didn't
so
read it.
many
I just-
times. Yeah, when
What
I
is
when
that?
I take a book on vacation, I reread the same 5 pages. Like, what?
5
Did
pages
I do
over
this?
and
Did I do this already? And by the time you figure out you did, you're like, I'm just gonna play frisbee with Mark.
Wait, Hermione said that?
No, I will say this. I do remember when the 7th Harry Potter book came out. I went to visit Megan in the Northeast. She was in Connecticut, like doing an internship, and I visited my sisters. And we got the book. We went to Martha's Vineyard, and I couldn't put it down. Couldn't put the book down. You know, it's Harry Potter 7.
I mean, if you get into it and it's a good
Didn't even
series.
see the vineyard.
What's that?
No, just didn't even see the vineyard. Just
No, actually, I did.
Oh, back
I like
to
Martha's
flight etiquette. I did have a funny kind of thought. This is maybe the most mad I've seen people get on a flight. Like me and Nicole included. One, it was kind of a rough flight as far as our passengers went.
oh
But
no.
there was a moment, you know how when you're flying, but then the intercom will cut off your movie or cut off the music to be like, we have to make a special announcement.
Yep.
There was a moment where that just happened for 15 minutes with no announcement. And it was when we were already on the tarmac for 30 out of like what we didn't know was another 30 minutes. So everyone was midway through a TV show, a movie. And then like first 5 minutes, everyone's like, they're going to say something about us taxing. And then another 5 minutes and everyone's like, well, I mean, surely any second we're just going to take off anyway. 15 minutes, at least 5 different people are just standing up trying to get like the flight attendants to be like, hey, the movie's not starting again. So what are we going to do?
Yeah, I'll take a bag of nuts. And also, I missed the last 15 minutes of Supercell. We got to figure this out, guys.
I can't. Hey, that was our last podcast. I am like, just let me know the budget if you're listening. Actually, if you guys are, if you're listening out there, just let me know the budget. But that was our last one. Here's the easiest fix to that, and you hear me out. You're taxing, you're stuck, whatever. Just open up drink service for everybody. Everybody gets a couple of pops on us.
Ooh, which also made things. We had turbulence, so they were also like cutting down on like snack.
You had turbulence? How bad? Was it bad? I hate turbulence.
Here's why it was good. Because they told, back to etiquette, they told everyone, hey, seatbelts on. It's going to get really bumpy for the next hour. And
I hate when they say that.
Worse, I felt a pee building too.
I do want a warning, but also
like stay in your seat where I'm like, I am going to have to pee right now, though. It always gets me like that. But there was a lady, as soon as they were like seatbelts on, and then this lady gets up to like start fiddling with her bags, and guess what? She didn't go down, but she got a little roughed up in the aisles. She clearly
got a little roughed up.
And every time she got a little toss, I was like, good,
couple bruises.
Good. You got to sit down. Now's not the time to change.
I've had some turbulence, but nothing all that bad. I assume Mark
going over like
them.
Like towards the west, like the Rockies, or going to
Vegas. That's where you hit it.
Like that. You get some turbulence. I prefer you just not to say anything. Also, just go around the storm, maybe.
Yeah, that also made me mad, though, because I was watching his route and as we were going through the Gulf, and I was like, why is he zigzagging so freaking much? Like, if we just direct...
You went over the Gulf. Interesting.
Yeah, we were over water.
Where was the vacation? Was it Cabo?
No, it was Manzanillo, Mexico. So...
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Like, so it's midway down off the coast there.
Is that still Central Time? It always weirds me.
Yeah. At some point we did change time zones.
Did you cross over to West?
Yeah, I think
But once you landed, you're still in Central?
No, I'm pretty sure we were
ahead,
no, we were behind you. I fucked it up because I sent someone to pick us.
Behind wouldn't make more sense.
I sent someone to pick us up, and the time was off by an hour still, so I'm terrible at figuring this shit out. It's the worst.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Real question. So I've only been to, was yours an all-inclusive resort? Like, you get a drink and eat?
It was actually pretty affordable, which is why we went. But it was pretty amazing. I love the fact that there's just, there was like always a buffet there, but then there were like 3 other good restaurants that were included, but you just had to make a reservation if you wanted to go there. So
I'd only done that once for a wedding, right? So it was a destination wedding, but I did the resort. What do you think? Are you going to go back now that you've done it once?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do this again.
What do you mean, same location or do the all inclusive?
Whatever good deal we can find again. Whatever has another cheap deal with it for some people for some good rooms. But
all inclusive is fucking awesome. But I always want to make sure I get my bang for my buck, and I always feel like I'm like
overeating.
I had too much sauce for ice cream just then. That was too much.
I'm not a breakfast guy, but every morning I was just chowing down and starting to feel kind of gross. I'm like, I don't eat this much of the morning.
You got to come full to an all-inclusive, don't you?
I mean, I started just skipping breakfast.
Ready to drink a few daiquiris.
I decided 2 meals was enough. If we paid for the 3, whatever, but I skipped breakfast, had a big lunch, had a great supper. And this, topic I want to bring up, because the first day I said I slept 14 hours, and that's not and that's not including
a lot of hours.
I mean, that's 2 nights of sleep.
That's not including a 2-hour nap I took that afternoon. So here's what happened though.
19 hours.
So
my guy was up for 4 hours that day.
Well, it was the red eye night. So we got in. The hotel wasn't ready, but they're like, but we can let you get like access to the resort, like the beach, the restaurants and stuff. So we're like, perfect. We'll put on the bracelets. We'll just go sleep under umbrellas for a second. So I pass out under the sun, under these umbrellas for a good 2 hours. Only day I got burned, just because we didn't have time to apply and stuff.
You don't look like a lobster. You're glowing.
No, I got a good tan. I kept it pretty good.
You gotta
good.
You gotta put on the sunscreen.
So right there, I clocked 2 hours
skin.
of sleep. We check into the hotel room. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna skip lunch and just take a little nap. And then it was the next morning. And then Nicole's like, "What happened to you?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm so sorry."
You just paid like $1,000 nap.
Yeah, it was so needed. But
But it was the best nap of your life.
But also,
probably.
that was just pretty much the trip. We would have breakfast, we'd go to the pool because the sun's not that strong. Sun picks up in the afternoon. We take like a 2-hour siesta. We have a little nap. We go to lunch. After lunch, sun's a little strong. Maybe we take another nap. Then we go down as the sun's setting again. So it was it was pretty much sleeping and laying, sleeping and laying.
You mentioned the pool. I guess I didn't know. Yeah, you sent a Snapchat of like a lizard swimming in the pool. I didn't. I guess
I'm glad you.
I mean, lizards probably swim. I guess I didn't realize that they did.
I'm glad you bring this up. So one, I'm anti-lizard. Number two, okay.
Hand up, anti-lizard.
Well, first up, I will say this.
I mean,
the resort
around me, yeah.
The resort actually had like 4 or 5 adorable teenage kittens. They were very friendly, and clearly everybody fed them because they were
teenage kittens.
They weren't. They weren't kittens.
When Simba starts singing,
it's when he has that mullet. Yeah, on the log.
No, it's the second one. It's the second.
Yeah.
It's a sequel
He's
to the
strutting his
movie.
stuff.
Yeah, is that one?
Oh, yeah.
So they're not kittens. They're not full grown yet, but they're adorable and they like people. They're like deer on golf courses. They fear nothing, and you can just go right up to them and pick them up. Much like
I
the
don't.
deer.
I don't touch cats that I don't know who they are. I'm like, you're cute.
The hotel
good for you.
The hotel
I'm not touching them.
clearly cares for them. They didn't. They looked healthy. They looked.
I'm happy for them, but I clearly don't.
How
care
many
for
cats have you touched in your life? Do you
Oh,
think, Jordan?
thousands.
them. Well, I don't know how many cats have we had. Like
No,
10?
Jordan is anti
10?
cat that he doesn't know. So
10. They 10 because we had 10. I don't know how many cats.
That's probably
we
a fair guesstimate. I would say no more than 50.
What do you mean?
In
You
my life, touched a
50
cat in my
That's
life.
an insane. That's a big number. I would say me no more than 7.
7
Oh, you're
cats
lying,
in your
'cause
life.
You touched every cat we had. And no shade. You did it. You touched them.
Yeah, so that's 5.
Okay, our former drummer Adam and current side project, studio project
Okay,
drummer
you're right.
Adam.
Uh-oh.
He has at least
Now the skeletons
he has at
come
least
out, Mark.
5
You're right.
cats
Now I'm-
there.
Why are you lowballing your cat touching number?
Now I'm inching 50 now.
That's
You're
what
right.
I'm saying.
You're right.
In your life, all the farm cats when we used to like just go to people's houses and drink.
Farm cats. Fuck, you forget about the
Yeah,
farm
you-
cats.
Oh
don't you?
yeah,
You've
and
touched
that's
some
another
cats.
100 that you forgot
I've
about.
touched some cats.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mark,
they've touched-
now
don't-
just flash to you in the farm cats putting your hands out like it's a gladiator in the wheat fields. You've touched some cats.
Thousands.
Don't come at us like you haven't touched some cats.
Gulliver's Travels. They just trapped me on the ground.
The second time you brought up Gulliver's Travel this month. Did you watch it
It's
recently?
just because now I know what I'm talking about.
Just checking.
For years, he's been misquoting Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
Just checking.
specifically where he gets tied down. It's just now once he sees the 50-foot attack of the 50-foot women or Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, they're just never going to stop these references.
Oh, but to the point. So these kittens at the resort aren't afraid of the iguanas, and if they're the fearless, I'm like, I shouldn't fear them either. And I didn't when I was walking by them; they would just scurry away. But me and my wife are relaxing in the pool in the shade.
The lizards or the kittens?
The lizard. And then we see, like, I don't know, a 2.5-foot iguana dive into the pool off the ledge, swim unbelievably fast to the other side. I can only say, like, do you remember the 2000 Godzilla when it was going like a fish, pretty quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it looked
Yeah,
like.
I
Water
mean-
moccasin.
That's what it looked
I
like.
think they move pretty quick in the water because I think most of the time when they're in the water, it's a survival. Gotta get the fuck out of the water mode.
Yeah. So terrifying.
They don't know the
Fast
difference
on-
in a pool.
So the entire
Fast on land is scary, but fast in the water
terrifying.
Oh yeah,
is
Yeah,
scary.
You don't want that.
So I'm thinking the whole time, what am I going to do if one of these charges me? And I try to flail it out of the water is my answer while I'm just screaming.
karate chop?
Yeah, I'm not getting out
Give
of the
me
way.
how big
Do
are
one of these,
these?
like little.
Like
Are these
this
like little
size. I'd say
salamanders?
this size.
Oh, that's big. That's like 2 feet.
Oh yeah, it's like 2 feet, a little bigger. Some of them.
I don't want any of that.
Some of them were about this size, but yeah, they're fairly.
That's a big fucking
So
lizard.
I'm,
That's
the
no good.
little ones that are on the walls or like on the little
Little geckos
the
and
patios,
stuff, yeah.
those are fine. Those are cute.
Those are
I looked at
okay.
little pictures of those. Those are fine.
And then sometimes
that
the
swims.
most those little ones are sometimes the most poisonous thing on earth.
So that was terrifying. So we mostly did stick by the pool though, and it was funny enough the last day that I was like, we should probably go down to the ocean.
Oh, you didn't go to the ocean?
We
You gotta
did.
go to
It
the
was
ocean.
very because the pools were so warm in the sun, and it was just like.
Yeah, but I got a rule of thumb: if you're in the ocean,
There
you gotta
were
go in it.
waiters that came by every 5 minutes to refill my beer, also, and
How long were you there?
like 5 days.
Go to the fucking ocean.
We did the last day, but then there were a lot of fish in there, and then they swam by and touched us, and we didn't like that. Do you know where there weren't fish? Pool.
That's true.
They were just iguanas.
But apparently 3-foot iguanas.
Yeah, iguanas, man. I guess they're on the
What is the nation with the like least? What's the nation with the least scariest
animal?
Like pest?
Maybe North America.
Probably
not animal because like
I assume it's some Nordic country where just there's not an inhabitable stuff.
Iceland.
Oh yeah, like Denmark.
Yeah,
might just
something
have,
like that.
A couple.
Something in Europe.
That 1 week in the summer is a nightmare, but the rest is okay. It's pretty pest free.
I'll tell you what the worst is. It's got to be Australia.
Oh yeah, nothing but bad news.
You guys don't know about the British platypus devil?
I wouldn't dip my toe in the Amazon though.
Check out the new "I'm Not Crazy" episode.
Oh, is that what you guys talked about?
No.
I'll tell you this. I did the resort once. It was fun, but I like to break it up. I'd say 3 days is the perfect amount for me, and then like do a city to begin. And then,
do you mean just as far as vacation, like
no, just at the resort?
I think as much as he means the leisure, specifically doing nothing but laying around, eating, swimming.
Leisurely,
yeah.
Got it. Hit
that,
absolutely.
Hit that at the tail end. If in the perfect world, I'd go to like a city or something for like 2 days or 3 days, and then like hit a resort for the last 2 days.
It's kind of funny. Like the first day you're there, you're like, well, I could probably just move here, and then after day 3, you're like,
I guess I'm engaged.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta go back home right now.
Mark, I see you being like forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I just start writing a dark, depressing musical.
No, you're Jesus. Paul Rudd's character. Man, I stopped wearing a watch when I got out here. It's like, oh, that's so cool, man. It's like it's just on my phone. Like I see.
Hey, what's your name, man? We just took surfing lessons.
I see you getting local pretty quick. Like
okay,
there were a lot of options.
You're drinking. You'd be drinking where the staff would drink, like real quick, like way quicker. Than me.
Quicker than me.
I just turned into a bartender. I'm like, sorry, babe. I'm never coming back.
Well, funny enough, I had a moment with one.
I'm never going back.
I had a forgetting Sarah Marshall moment where I ordered just some liquor early in the morning. The guy's like your style, but on the mainland he'd beat the shit out of me, and we all know it.
So okay. I think the resort, I went to Puerto Rico, or not Puerto Rico, I went to the Dominican Republic, and I'm pretty sure the resort had watered down alcohol. And I know this because I was drinking like all day at the resort. And then we went off the resort for like a boat ride where they also had alcohol. And I got fucking wasted.
What were you drinking? Margaritas? Or just shot?
I pretty much stuck to beer because I didn't want to get like...
You think they were watering down your Coronas?
No, I just don't think they were as alcoholic because I would have been more drunk. I had
were
like
you
liquor
sitting in water
and
a lot too, though. I mean, you could have been absorbing
and sweating
it out.
Yeah. I'm just saying, not much changed. And then I went to non-resort, and I also had their alcohol, and I had the same amount.
It's the first thing got roofied off the island, is what happened.
It's the first thing Jordan said to me, so it clearly stuck to him. I got back. He's like, "Hey, the alcohol? Did they water it down for you?" And no, they didn't.
And I think it makes sense. It's a safety factor. You can't just have people sitting and drinking all fucking day and having normal alcohol.
You could. In fact, I stopped asking for 2, and they just started naturally bringing me 2 drinks at a time, so they wouldn't have to come back as much.
Here's the thing. It's kind of like an all-you-eat sushi thing.
You get full.
Yeah, you get
drunk. You go upstairs, you go to sleep.
They put a price on it, so it's like... He's not going to be able to drink 50 beers.
Yeah, but see, some people do. I'm not saying I did. Anyway.
They've got the one guy who does.
I'm going to tell you what I really liked about this. They restocked the mini fridge every day, and it was included that I had to take it. You know what I mean? Like it was free for me to take, restocked.
So, what I would do, because I was there for somebody who's had things to do during the day, so I didn't want to get sick during the day. Mm-hmm. So I'd kind of eat light during the day, but then when I got back to my room at night with Megs, I would just
room service up the wazoo.
Yeah, I would just order 2 burgers. I'd be like, I enjoy your rest, Megan. I'm going to watch their Paramount Plus. I watched The Mask of Zorro 3 times and had burgers every night. It was awesome.
I watched Planet of the Apes and Mad Max.
There you go.
We can kind of keep volleying this back and forth, but my weekend was a bachelor party. Also, we did a all-inclusive rooftop for the Cubs game.
Oh, those are fun.
Never done the rooftop game.
You can get Italian beefs, hot dogs, beer,
The
hamburgers.
service is impeccable.
No, it's impeccable. It is. It really is. But like, I'm not gonna eat 5 hamburgers. I wanted to try to, but I only had I had a hot dog, a hamburger.
How many beers though?
4 or 5.
Yeah, but that kind of pays for yourself, right? No, you feel horrible, but if you think about a rooftop compared to the ball game, it comes out you're ahead at the rooftop.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I think so. Not the experience, but
I'm with Mark though. I always end up getting gross because I'm like, well, I want my money's worth, and I'm gonna stuff every option in me. Things like things like Fogo de Chao, where it's like, come on, it's almost like how much can you do, huh?
And all you can eat sushi, that type of thing. Like, I don't want it all. I want a couple rolls. I don't want to eat 10.
Yeah, give me a limit. Give me
the older I've gotten, I've practiced much more constraint in these situations. Although if I'm on the rooftop, I'm like, yeah, I guess on the way I'll have an extra hot dog. So yeah, I indulge. But I'll tell you where I've grown to have the most restraint, and I don't find myself in this situation ever. But it's a sundae bar. It's an ice cream sundae bar. 2 ingredients. That's it. That's all you get to add to your one flavor of ice cream.
Oh, Jordan, There was an ice cream machine in every restaurant and at the buffet. You had vanilla chocolate and a swirl.
Yeah, but what'd you do for toppings?
No, it wasn't a topping thing. It was just it was just the machines.
This might be a hot take. I'm not a huge fan of sprinkles.
They're chalky. They're not. Yeah, they're not. I mean, it's for show.
They're chalky.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of many ingredients added to ice cream at a bar like that because they just get really hard and cold quickly. Like, I want the ice cream to have the concrete mix. Like, it needs to be,
Give me
what's the topping that gets the hardest and the worst?
Snickers.
Caramel. Anything Snickersy caramel shatters your teeth.
M&M maybe
anything gummy.
That too.
That's true.
Jordan.
Gummy, it loses
anything
its
like a gummy bear on top of ice cream. It's like, what?
We're gonna keep this going, but this might be the 10th time we've talked about ice cream ingredients and mixes. Real quick,
we love ice cream, guys. It just is
favorite ice cream shop to go to, like a Cold Stone versus like a frozen yogurt thing. Like, what's the thing our mom loves? Something Orange Leaf.
I don't hate just the general. Let's go to a Dairy Queen and get
Blizzard.
A Reese's Pieces Blizzard.
And on top of that, Dairy
McFlurry
Queen has great food. Check out their full menu. It's delicious.
If I'm doing local Chicago, I'm gonna go Oberweis over Candies, but Candies is the experience, right? Or sorry, Margie's.
Oh, Margie's. Margie's is a famous.
You gotta go Margie's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Capone spot.
But as far as just fast food chains, that type of stuff, or like normal stuff, I'm gonna go Culver's. Call me crazy.
Culver's mixers are very good. Go on,
Cameron. Do you remember? Well, fuck, I didn't get to see the Green Day show because I had confirmation that my mother wanted me to go to.
Starting line show in Chicago, I believe.
Yes, we went to Margie's, and funny enough, we are playing the House of Blues in like 3 days.
I would say we should go to Margie's and
circle.
have it a full circle thing, but that hot fudge sundae made me incredibly sick. So
I think we all threw up our track jackets that night because we were like,
it was so hot, just so much sugar, and I was like, oh no. So I'll never do that
I can
again.
get rid of this old.
You know what I
Navy
like about
track
Margie's
jacket.
Sundays?
What's that?
They toss in a wafer for you.
Do you know what I like though?
A little bit of wafers.
I love a homemade fudge that's kind of thin and hot chocolatey. You know what I mean? I don't need it too thick. I kind of like the thin ones.
Thin's good. You know what's sneaky good that I just underrate when it comes to a sundae at an ice cream parlor type place?
Banana split.
So whipped cream. Hey, banana splits. Get the fuck out of here.
You're not a big
Can't
banana
stand
guy.
them.
You don't like a banana
He's not a
split?
banana guy.
Yeah, get him out.
That
They had it perfect. It's called a sundae, and then they put bananas in and they ruin it.
it's just
What's the perfect way to split this for two? I'll put the shitty banana in the middle of it. That'll, no one will go past that line.
But
I like the name of it though. It sounds
good name, great name. I'm not arguing that.
Aesthetically,
But-
looks great.
I'm an adult. I compromise.
aesthetic.
I'll get them with Megan's, knowing that she likes them. I just got to sit in the
She'll
middle.
take the
and,
banana.
Well, yeah, but I also have to have something I didn't want, but I do it because I compromise. Banana flavored ice cream soup at the end. I'm like, I don't like that.
yeah.
It's too much like tastes too much like banana. If I wanted a banana, I would order it. But
It's
you
actually
got to
kinda
do what you got
funny.
to do.
So, it was a couple of weeks ago, but my wife was like going out just to get ice cream, and she's like, "Oh, do you want something?" And she got something for me and our friend Chris, and then she just panicked because we had just dope. It's like, "Oh, I want toffee caramel chocolate like brownie piece," and then she just spent so much time getting ours. At the end, she said banana. And the guy was like banana ice cream, banana, bananas in it. And she just shrugged and went, banana. And he gave her banana
Cameron
flavored
got a
ice cream
banana.
with bananas in it. It was so plain and just,
Gross.
she failed so hard.
Gross.
Banana popsicle reminds me
worst.
of like the original Parent Trap for some reason.
Do they have?
Yeah,
Do they
yeah.
have?
I'm pretty
banana
sure that
popsicles in there?
I'm pretty sure that's like they did like Oreos and peanut butter and like banana popsicles or some shit like that.
Ooh,
It's
you
been
know
a
what
long
doesn't
time since I've
exist
seen that.
anymore? Like as of 6 months ago, Choco Taco. They don't make them anymore.
I heard that.
Discontinued?
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe somebody makes them, but the Choco Taco.
I didn't have enough
itself-
as a kid for it to affect me that much, but that's
No, it
still
doesn't
sad.
affect me,
Still
but it's
sad.
just weird that it could go away because.
I'll be
it's-
honest, I know of them and I know I would love them. I've never held one in my hand.
just a side-
Do they
just a-
drip? Do they drip on you?
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you
it's an
give it
ice cream.
enough
Yeah,
time.
it's a top, it's a ice cream.
Not initially because it's pretty frozen. It's just a sideways drumstick. You know, it's a taco ice cream. That's all it is.
As far as
I'll tell you what.
as far as your ice cream,
I have gotten into though.
Sure.
Ice cream sandwich with the actual
cookie.
chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Like I've said many
Might be
times, though,
one.
the softness of the cookie is very important. Shout out to Two Sisters Ice Cream Shop in Blue Island. I'm not sure if they're still open, but the softest cookie on an ice cream sandwich I've ever had, straight out of the freezer.
Wow.
I don't know how they do it. Even frozen dough should be hard. I don't get it. I don't get how they do it.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
No, it's amazing.
I like a good Neapolitan.
Funny enough, I just finished off a barrel of it. Turns out I love strawberry ice cream. That's the first flavor. It's the first one for me to go.
Do you like strawberry milk?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Do you like milk in
Chocolate.
general?
Funny enough,
You're
I
milk
have
guys.
two jugs of
I have really forced myself to say milk.
Yeah, me too.
And pillow.
Yeah,
and it feels like I'm selling out.
I've been ridiculed for years.
Wait, Jordan, you mentioned Oberweis earlier. Were you like? Did you get milk?
Ding, ding,
deliveries?
ding, ding. This guy
No,
I
that
have
was
two,
Cameron.
I have two chocolate. I have two
Cam.
Oberweis chocolate milks in my fridge in the glass bottles, right?
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Well, at least I have some empties that I need to refill. But I've been going Oberweis, which is like a local dairy thing in Chicago. Going Oberweis crazy with my chocolate milks, and it's delicious.
So I have had it. I'm lactose intolerant, but I had to have it once, like back then. You know what the best thing about I think most chocolate milks, but specifically Oberweis as well,
Is the man?
they use
the milkman?
they use whole milk, and you're like, oh yeah, there it is.
yeah.
Do you honestly know what I was
Well,
doing?
there could I assume be like chocolate milk that has like 2% or 1%. And it's like why
Or skim, yeah, but you
why cut it there? Why
Here's how
make you know,
rich it is.
You already
I've
went in.
been going through it so quickly, mostly because I've been using it as my coffee creamer because it's sweet enough with the chocolate, and it's so it's been
Oh, you mean just the milk? I thought you meant the chocolate milk. I'm like, that's
oh yeah,
not-
the
you
chocolate
shouldn't
milk
do
as
that.
my coffee creamer in the coffee.
What
No,
are
you were right.
talking
You were
about?
right.
No,
That's what I've been doing.
That's the wrong answer. I get
You
that.
want to know something
creamer's
funnier?
just flavored, but
When I don't do it in my coffee, I do it out of a shot glass because it's just so good, and I want to savor it like eggnog.
Mark, you a coffee guy?
I don't love the acidity in my stomach in the morning, but
Oh,
like
that makes sense.
I,
yeah.
I also don't need the caffeine, but yeah, I like the taste of it. I love the smell of it, but it's not a ritual. It's not a ritual for me, at least in this point in my life.
Smell is better than the taste. We can all agree on that. It's one of the
depends.
best smelling things in the world.
I do love the smell, and well, actually, I'd love the taste, but the problem is the same with Mark. Kind of the acidity thing, where the caffeine, it is terrible for my body, but I love the taste.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have 3 cups in the morning, I'm gonna be like probably shitting my brains out before noon.
That's called a good day, right?
Sorry, TMI, but
I think that's pretty par for the course. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty well documented. Makes you shit your brains out before noon.
That's why we do it.
I never drank coffee before. I worked at home during the pandemic, and Megan would just make a pot, and I grew up and I drink it like I drink whiskey. If you just keep drinking something, you'll get into it.
it's kind of like a Looney Tune thing. Like especially like if your spouse or whatever girlfriend makes it in the morning, you're kind of like
Yep.
you're kind of floating to it, aren't you? Mm-hmm. You see the smell, the smell clouds. Yeah.
I don't know the Mount Rushmore of things that are awesome in cartoons, but it's
Wafting.
the wafting smell of things. That's good.
It's the wafting good smell, wafting bad smell.
It works
and maybe
both
just,
ways.
Like,
The difference
pair
is
of-
just some more squiggly lines and some greenness to it.
big eyes and tits, maybe. Might be the third one.
Oh yeah, big guys are great. You know what they got wrong? All cartoons. They thought they made me think that beer, like alcoholic beer, was going to be the frothiest, most delicious.
Oh
neck
yeah,
of the gods.
it
you're
was
gonna
going to be
see- you're gonna
butterbeer.
hiccup
It was
for
going
the
to be
rest of the night.
caramely.
Yeah, you thought you were getting butterbeer.
Yeah, it just didn't. I have another question based off the vacation, and it's hot tub etiquette. How many people's too many for you to get in? Your thoughts on kids and children being in there, and 2 or 3, sorry, people going underwater in the hot tub. Thoughts on that?
Okay, all right.
Adults
Let's go
going
around the horn.
underwater?
Let's go around the horn here.
All of
Jordan,
which clearly
you start.
things I witnessed on vacation. I just have some questions about.
Also, things you've probably done, maybe minus the
We've all
sans
dunked
kid,
at least
but
once in a hot tub just to see what's going on, you know?
I'm not trying to dunk, but
I've dunked, haven't done it recently. Nowadays, I will never enter a hot tub when somebody's there.
Anybody's in there.
Anybody's there.
Really?
No, I just wait it out until there's an opening for me.
Okay, well, Jordan,
pick my spots.
I have this to say to you now. The hot tub at this resort could fit easily like 30 to 50 people. It was a
then that's like a horse of a different.
It was one of those.
Yeah, that's a horse of a
Then
different.
fucking pick your spot. Then it doesn't matter.
Okay, just wondering. So we're talking regular.
That's like-
I'm thinking of the normal like Holiday Inn
Hot tub.
hot tub that can
like
fit
a
like
6-person hot
5.
tub, right?
Let's
Six,
say
yeah,
let's say the
like-
recommended most is 10. No more than 10, but you know it's comfortably 4.
Okay,
If there's 4 in there, I'm gonna go in, and this is kind of unlike me, but I'll be like, hey, how we doing? Where are we from?
that's what I don't want. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'll pick my corner and I'll talk to
Mark, are you
Megan.
doing a psyop game though? Are you trying to awkward people out? Because I've done that before. We're like,
a little reverse psychology.
You're
It's not bad.
There's
yeah.
2 people in there. If me and my 2 friends come, there's 3 of us. We'll talk louder. They'll leave. If we dominate the conversation in the hot tub,
You got to dominate the conversation. It's one of the situations where if someone leaves from your area, you don't feel bad about it.
No.
Like it's not like you don't have BO or anything. It's like, now I've got
it's elevator
Here's what-
situation. Just better alone. Better alone.
Here's what I've learned as an adult. The easiest way to win a hot tub is to be the drunkest and bigger crowd. And then it's your hot
Which again, with free service,
And
was
Jordan's
very
doing
easy for all of us.
Like blowholes.
tub. What's your take on back floating? Just kind of bouncing around everybody.
in the hot tub,
Hell yeah.
I'm kind of bad at back. Cameron, you're kind of bad at
I
back
think
floating, aren't you?
no matter how fat I get,
Your ass
something about
sinks.
me is dense. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Funny enough, it was
Everything's buoyant but your
I kept
booty.
trying with my wife on vacation. She was flabbergasted as well. She's like, "Yeah, you go into a V, and even when I push,
He's
I
a V.
push
Just
up.
Just keep your back
Yeah,
straight.
then my feet just go down, and then my head goes down. It's like a board. I go like the
sink.
Titanic gaining water, but I don't split in half.
But same results.
about-
You just
it's-
say.
yeah. about
I
your
go
core
down.
strength.
Yeah, I have to have I have to keep up. It sucks.
Short answer is I don't want a hot tub with a lot of people.
Okay.
If there's space, I'll pick my corner, but I don't want to talk to anybody.
Oh, God,
and
no.
that's generally my answer always.
Okay, just checking. Cool.
One of the worst pool guys is a guy doing maybe laps or
Which our
but not in a lap
hot
pool.
tub was big enough that we had a guy that was kind of swimming back and forth.
This is a huge.
You don't swim. There's no
for the record.
swimming.
It was like
Wasn't it 90?
yeah, it was
there?
like 3 feet deep. Also, so this guy was like going for it.
I like the guy who gets out when the bubbles stop. I don't
Bubbles
have to do it.
rotate on this one so that it just you got to.
Oh, you're saying like a hero? He'll hit the bubbles for you.
Yeah, he loves the bubbles a little more than I do. So he'll get out. He'll hit the bubbles.
Mark,
He'll trunks. He'll drop a little in the back, so you'll see his ass.
I'm that hero.
Hey,
You're gonna
before,
see
but-
that.
Enjoy the
crap.
show, man.
I love the bubbles enough that I'll be the guy to get out every time. I'll be like,
Every time?
I'll be like,
Oh,
we want the
never.
bubbles and the lights right. We don't just want to sit here and water together.
See, that would be my cue. I'd be like, "Well, bubbles are gone. Let's get the fuck out of here."
Cameron, do you remember was it my 10
Your birthday party where we
What
went to the
part?
hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they just put way too much chlorine in the party, and everyone's like, hey, you gotta get out of here. Like one of our chaperones was like, nah,
No,
stay
we're
in
here for the next 6 hours.
Can't
Okay,
keep
to
you-
put this
can't
into
have these
listener
guys on the
context, so
loose.
they had to at least
Yeah.
triple
Cam,
the
thank you.
chlorine in this pool. And Mark's mom went away for 2 seconds, like, hey, I have to run to go get the pizzas. This mom, who's not really affiliated with the friend group mom, is in charge for 2 seconds. We all dive in the pool and we're like, holy shit, our skin's on fire. We need to run to the room and rinse off under the shower. And she was like, no one's leaving the pool under my watch. But it was strong enough that in the air, it was burning your eyes. So we were trying to explain, this is his party. We have a room right there. We need to get this poison off us. And she just would not let us go.
Goddamn water bond.
Last thing about hot tubs. Best time to hot tub, night, cold out,
sure.
hot tub
Cold.
warm.
What,
That's my favorite hot tub.
Have you guys ever done this? It's maybe you're at your uncle's house and they've got a hot tub and you run out into the snow, roll around, go
Never
back.
done it. I've never done the
yeah.
snow hot
Oh,
tub
yeah.
situation.
Snow hot tub is pretty
Never done it?
nice.
It's the best hot
Burns
tub.
your skin. Burns your skin.
Burns it good.
Burns your
rosacea.
skin. What do you mean?
It's imagine
Tingly.
the extreme
Gotcha,
cold.
gotcha.
Have you ever like dipped your hands or your feet into like a hot shower after like I don't know, you've been sledding or walking?
Yeah,
up
they
the-
puffed up to twice their size, and I got real scared.
Yeah, it's like I can't necessarily feel if this is too hot for me. and
Oh,
it
my
is.
skin's gone.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, I just have sort of a broad question. I had a bachelor party this weekend that I went to. I'm a best man in a wedding. Just sort of a broad question. I know you guys have been on a couple bachelor parties. We don't just talk about specific people, but what is the worst? You've got the guy who gets too drunk. You've got the guy who's planning a little too much. I've got a guy, the guy who works out in the morning
Ooh.
and is posting pictures and like goes on a mile run. Like I feel, why aren't you up?
That's annoying, but easily
That
that's
guy's
easily
tough.
avoidable. I'll tell you the worst guy to deal with in the party. It's the one who's really living vicariously. He's like, "Oh, we got to get cigars, strippers, this brand of alcohol because I need it."
Yeah,
It's the guy that
where
needs
are
it's the guy that
strippers?
needs it too
Yeah,
much.
it's
Like
the guy that needs
tone
to-
it down.
Yeah.
He's
Tone it
always
down.
saying like, "Oh, you're gonna need the break from the family and the wife and ball and chain after this. Better get used to it because he."
It's a
really
guy that
needs
some days like they may not be getting a divorce, but they should, and it's like we get it. You're going.
That
through
guy's
it.
already been on 15.
Yeah.
this is his
Yeah,
last.
that's the
one.
worst guy.
Yeah, he's the guy that also brings up a lot of other bachelor parties. Like, man, back in the day when we did coke, I'm like,
Yeah,
all
well,
right, all right,
that's
all right.
great. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So we did the Cubs game. We did like a golf simulator day, and then we went
Nice.
to like Gibson Steakhouse. Had drinks and wine and big ass
You
steaks.
see a
and all the
game, you
sides
do
and
something
stuff.
golfy, you eat some kind of meat. Those are the things you typically do. On
And then one of the guys the next day, like we woke up, he's like, man, I feel like shit. Like I can't stay off the toilet. It's like, cause you
just
came
ate
back-
a 10-pound steak.
You
and
came
had
back to the
60.
Airbnb and you ordered $50 worth of Taco Bell
There you
after
go.
our steakhouse meal.
That'll do it.
But at the time, guy made the right call.
Yeah.
Made the right call. He wanted the cinnamon bites and
Yeah.
whatever.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Can't hate him for it.
One last question I had about my trip, and it's plane boarding etiquette. Do you care what group you go in on? Do you want to get on earlier? Do you
don't.
want to get on later?
I'd rather be on late.
Typically,
Yeah,
I'll
wouldn't
say
you?
that, but the only problem you can sometimes get in are people just like putting their overhead baggage in annoyingly that way.
It's
that
the
you might
overhead.
run
Yeah.
out of room. That's the worst part about getting on last, but I typically don't care.
A sneaky pro though is you might get to check your bag for free.
You always gonna check your bag
sneaky
for free.
thing though, they might lose that bag for you for free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
for
a good
sure.
chance that ain't making it.
My wish is that I'd have the confidence to be like, I want them calling my name, and I am walking casually up, and like, I'm on my way, guys. Don't shut that door yet.
What do you mean?
No.
You're like you're closing out a Wolfgang Puck and you're like Jordan, last call, like we're about to leave.
What do you think about you guys drink in the airport? I don't like to drink in the airport.
One of the
Time
best
out.
beer,
Number
one of the
one,
best beers
yes.
you can ever have is a airport
Rewind
beer.
though for a second. No, you're wrong. Because Nicole and I were having lunch because we thought we had like two
Stressful.
hours before our flight boarded, and then over the O'Hare intercom, the entire airport there was Cameron and is it Cameron Jones and Nicole Dan. They're
No,
like,
you
last
didn't.
call, the gate is closing. We looked at each other, threw money down, and home aloned it through O'Hare, and literally got there as they were closing the door. And it was an international flight, and we would have been screwed.
You
Jesus.
ran Rudolph through.
We were
O'Hare.
already through
Rudolph.
security, but we like just walked away to be like, oh, let's go.
Yeah, you're
we
at,
picked,
like,
we
a
picked a
Chili's or
restaurant.
whatever.
Yeah, we're like, oh, now that we know where our gate is, but something happened where they moved up like the boarding time by like an hour and a half, so we just lost all that time. Terrifying.
What is it about Wolfgang Puck that he's got sort of this monopoly on airport restaurant?
He knows what
he's the guy.
he knows
All
what
of
the
them.
traveler
Seems like he is.
wants. He
he wants
he
to, yeah.
knows.
Oh, Jordan, you have anything input on that?
Oh no, I was just gonna go off on a tangent, an airport story.
Oh, well, that fits.
I do
Oh,
have this to say about disembarking from the plane. I have a new thing. I do like getting up to get my bag
No.
quickly. And then,
Don't.
and,
Nope,
no,
nope,
and
nope,
then,
nope,
and then
nope,
sitting
nope.
immediately back down in my seat until
Nope.
Within
until
your
it
lap?
opens up. Yeah, because that way when it's my turn, I just stand up and start walking. I'm like, I'm.
Why wouldn't your bag just be right above you?
It
You're
is
tall enough where you can
It
just
is.
snag,
That's what I'm
snag
saying. I
and go.
usually I can open the compartment usually from a seated position. I kind of lean out, get my shit. Then by the time it's
What if a rando's in the aisle? You like the window you said earlier, so like you're just gonna,
I get the aisle. I had the aisle on all 4 flights. I'd take the aisle. It's my.
I would be fine sitting in the plane until I'm the last one gone. I've got the patience, unless I have to be somewhere, obviously. But most of the time, I'm flying pretty leisurely. I can wait it out. The only thing I get antsy about is, do I have to help that small, like short person, like old person or woman grab their bags? What level of excitement should I have with
if they
it?
look you in the eyes?
Yeah, then it's it. But like, how much do I offer? I don't want to insult anybody.
Is this rude to me? Most of the time, if I've seen them struggle, or if I just see their stature, I'll get like four bags around me down. Like, this you and that's you. Like, I don't have time for this shit. I'll get it down in 2 seconds. I don't get what takes people so long to get their bag down.
Well, also you're like, yeah, you're plus 6'3", so
they're shorter, Cameron.
They're reaching
at their
It's
tips.
so easy for me, and it makes me so pissed off. Me and my wife, we're taller people, and the struggle that people have is infuriating. Ugh, can't.
If the drink cart comes around, what are we ordering, boys?
I gotta
What's
be
your go-to?
honest. I'm just a Coke Classic.
If it's a long flight,
Ever
I'll
open-
get the booze, and it'll be whiskey on the rocks and or whiskey and Coke. If it's just Coke and my pretzels though, Sprite.
Sure. Have you ever seen or have you ever opened up a Diet Coke yourself? A little extra fizzy. That you can only pour it like millimeters at a time because it
The last flight I did have
fizzy
two
thing.
beers just in a can. I just had 2 Modelo's, and they were like, "Do you want a cup?" And I was like, "Nah, I'll just can it."
I don't know if I've ever had a beer on
I've
the plane.
had a few now.
I've only
Definitely had,
drank
like, a
a
rum and
couple
Coke,
times
but-
on the plane, but never. I often don't. I don't know why. I just
Well, here's what it started with. I was like, "Oh, do you have whiskey?" And she's like, "Vodka, tequila." And I'm like, "I don't know if I'm feeling that right now." Then I was like, "Beer." I guess I'll just slam a few of those, and I did.
We definitely grew up in a region that when the plane lands, we clap.
you applaud her.
I don't clap, but I just mean we grew up in a place where us Midwestern folk we clap when the
I
plane
might start
lands.
clapping
Job
now.
well done.
I think the whole.
I do think the pilot thing. Hey, nice flight.
You
good
know,
landing.
actually, the flight to O'Hare, it was either that or Mexico City, was maybe one of the softest landings I've ever had. The takeoff, funny enough, was kind of rough and choppy because that was the turbulence. It was into O'Hare. Barely felt it. Not until he hit the brakes and we got like jolted forward, but the actual ground contact, smooth as butter.
You know what part I love about taking off? It's when you're ascending and you naturally get a lean back because the whole
The nose is just dipping
the
up.
whole plane. I wish I did that the whole fucking time. I wish there was a way to fly that way the entire time.
This was kind of weird. This is the first time I've had like real disorientation on a flight where we were banking super hard and I didn't know how hard because like I didn't feel my body tilt. So like I looked out, I just looked out the window and I saw nothing but like just blue, and I'm like, where the hell's the land? And then we just all of a sudden tilted super far back. I'm like, oh, we were like 90 degrees.
Yeah, well, what's stunning, you look one way, it's blue, and then you look the other way, you're like, that's just horizontal ground.
Well, to make it more confusing too, it was just super humid in Mexico and we were off the water, so it was just like a white haze in between where you kind of couldn't tell. It was all just cloudy, bluey sky water, so kind of terrifying to fly in.
Well, it's a good thing that planes fly themselves until someday they just are going to all malfunction.
That's what I've been told. Well, until then.
I have one last little bit. I hope this doesn't take too long. Little mouse situation in my house. Little mouse.
How long did I live there? 5 years. We didn't have a single mouse.
Zero. So Cameron, right before
We have a cat now, though. This is perfect.
I have a kitten.
Okay.
Can't quite jump on. So it's only where I've seen it is only on the countertops to the stove.
You don't want it on countertops.
It's got a specific route. Yeah. So I had to take all the food out, put it in like a bin. There's snap traps up there right now.
Go sticky.
Jordan.
You got to go sticky.
That's so inhumane, you sick
They're
son of a
all
bitch.
horrific. No matter what,
come
you're coming in on a squealing.
You know
I'd rather
what's in
snap its neck than see like it rip its own limbs off its body.
Oh, the traps
Yeah, but
sometimes
do you
get
wanna
their
s-
limbs too. I've seen some horrific things in those.
Yeah, they get trapped. It's bad stuff. Do you want to snap?
So I will say I
You're a
started with
poison
an
guy?
inhumane
You're a poison
trap.
guy?
No
You did the
poison.
sticky?
No poison. Peanut butter.
Cats
peanut
and
butter.
dogs. It's too
Okay.
risky for me to do that shit.
Yeah, no, but that's why we could use traps because it was just on the countertop, so the cat wouldn't have got. It's not big enough to get up there yet, but haven't seen it in a sec.
Oh.
As long as you don't smell it, that's good.
Smelling it's okay.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
you
dead
know
in the
it's
wall,
dead
and
at
I'll
least.
deal with that for 3
Yeah.
more months.
Yeah.
I will say the first time I saw it scurry, I was.
It does make
not
your
fun.
nighttime sleep, like you hear any noise, you're like, it's the rat.
Yeah.
It's the mouse.
it's
like,
coming.
It
That's
was
the
so
mouse.
small though. I will say it was like the size of like even like a little kitten toy. But you like now I'm like going in the kitchen with a flashlight. I'm pretty sure it's
Oh,
gone,
you know,
but
I'm
my
going
first
everywhere in
experience with the
sandals or
mouse-
slippers. I'm tiptoeing everywhere. I don't want that thing scurrying on me. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I was such a wimp when I saw that thing.
If you want a real mouse rat genocide story, go back and listen to the earlier stories of Urban Hermit. I know that's in there somewhere in the records.
I'm sure it's been talked about
Jordan,
many times.
you definitely talked about this, but he called us like,
You know,
guys,
it's probably even the title of that episode.
Come
so
over
check that
now.
out.
Yeah, you can find that one. I'm sure we talked about it. We'll talk about it again.
Well,
But
thanks for listening to our.
rats are different.
Thanks for listening to this
Jesus.
episode of Urban Hermit. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate and review. You can also find us on social media if you want to keep the conversation going at Urban Hermit Pod. If you want more content, check out the whole Majestic Jam Network. I'm Not Crazy, Cult Classics, the High Wire Podcast. And until then, we'll check in the next one. Bye.
Bye.